Hello everyone! Today I'll be teaching you how to illustrate chalk art text. This is my very first time making a tutorial on chalk art on my channel. During my trip to Spain, I visited Ibiza Island where I came across many cute chalk art banners like this. It made me want to create one on my own using iPad, so today let's use these as a sample to illustrate one. Many high-quality wall arts can be found in different parts of Spain. I was inspired by them, so I decided to challenge myself to create something similar in this video. Today's chalk art will mainly be focused on designing text. I'll give a lecture on how to illustrate text so that they look like they were written by chalk. This can be done quickly by learning some tips, so I hope you guys can try this out as well. The app we'll be using today is the one I often use called Procreate. Once the app is open, click on the plus button at the upper right corner and set the canvas to screen size. If you prefer to set a specific size, you can do that by going to the settings. Now first, click on the gear mark and select Import Photos. I imported a black image I prepared beforehand to resemble a blackboard on its background. After adjusting its size, click on Adjustment panel, then Hue, Saturation, Brightness. By increasing the brightness, the details of the blackboard can be seen clear. This sums up the first preparation stage. Let's dive into the chalk art illustration. Click on Layer, swipe left on the blackboard layer so that it will be fixed at its position. Then add another layer, which will be where we are going to draw the chalk art. Although some of you may not be used to writing on an iPad screen, don't worry. There is a text function in Procreate which will make everything much easier. Click on the gear icon, Add button, then select Add Text. Here, a text box appears where you can put your text. Once you're done typing the text, you can click on Edit Style to change a variety of settings including font, text size, and kerning. Let's try finding the font that's similar to that of the sample on the left. While Procreate already has some of the fonts installed, you may want to add new fonts by yourself. I made a tutorial explaining how this can be done, so please check it out. Let's get back here. You can also adjust the boldness of the font, text size, as well as kerning. Kerning is about the space or distance between each alphabet. Tap down once you're finished with making adjustments. As you can see by looking at the sample, the font must be stretched more vertically. We'll use a special function first by selecting the text with the arrow icon. On the panel appearing below, click on Freeform. This allows you to resize the text regardless of the original length-to-width ratio. So let's try stretching the text vertically. I'll make an important point here. Since this text itself doesn't exactly look like it was written by chalk, we'll be adding some special effects to it. First, we'll add black shades to the text through the Adjustment panel and Hue, Saturation, Brightness settings we used earlier. Adjusting the brightness towards black allows the text to blend in more with the blackboard background. Try changing the hue and saturation as well so that you can barely see the text. Next, add a new layer at the top of the text and select the layer. Click on Clipping Mask. Then choose white from the color category and set your brush to chalk. If you try coloring the area where the text is located, you can see the text emerging. This happens because of the clipping mask settings I used earlier. It allows you to illustrate a selected layer without overlapping the design located on the layer below. This makes the chalk art possible. Rather than coloring in details, brushing the canvas roughly will make the design seem like it was handwritten by chalks. Brushing the canvas roughly will make the design seem like it was handwritten by chalk. Now let's add another layer to outline the chalk art. Once that's done, let's merge all the layers by grouping them into one. We'll move on to adding some decoration around the text on a new layer. From the settings, select Symmetrical tool, click on Canvas, then turn on Drawing Guide. Then click on Edit Drawing Guide right below, where a green grid like this appears on your screen. You can adjust the color of the grid on the top. On the very right side of the bottom panel, there is a category called Symmetry. A horizontal axis will appear in the center. Make sure Assistant is turned on this layer. As you can see, whatever I write on one side of the screen is reflected on the other side. This is called Symmetrical tool. It's a very useful tool, so please remember. I've explained all the necessary instructions up until now. Now we just need to repeat the process over and over again to add more chalk art. I'll show you all the process until the end. As we did earlier, I'll add another textbook. This time I'll type in English Breakfast and select the font, boldness, size, and kerning. The precise sizing of the text can better be done by selecting the text with the arrow and by selecting the text with the arrow and dragging it. As a tip, try aligning the right and left margin with that of the breakfast text. Now let's go over the same procedure to change the color of the text through the adjustment panel and hue saturation brightness settings we'll be using. Adjusting the brightness to black so that we can barely see the text. Add a new layer evolve and set Clipping Mask tool. Here, grab white color, and this time let's use the blotch brush to induce a little bit of fading effects. Then draw with your brush kind of slanted like this. This creates a chalk-like look, so I recommend this brush a lot. Now we will be illustrating a different kind of decoration. On a new layer, outline the alphabet with diagonal lines. The length of these lines doesn't need to be exactly the same at this point. For now, it's just a rough draft. Now, to align the diagonal lines, we'll use the mask function instead of using the eraser tool. A white box will appear after selecting the mask function on the current layer. When using a black brush, the area you trace will be hidden. As for the brush, let's use the studio pen and clean the margin of each alphabet. How does it look? I think it looks quite similar to the sample now. Let's not forget to merge the layers by grouping them. This will make it easier later on when looking through all the layers you added. Since we don't have enough space, I'll move on to the text starting with Frutta Fresca. After inserting the text, what's different this time is that we must rotate the text a little bit. Again, from the adjustment panel and hue, saturation, and brightness section, we'll darken the text. Add another layer alongside with the clipping mask settings to add a chalk texture. By the way, when I visited Ibiza Island, I was walking around holding many kinds of cameras to take photos. And Ibiza is a very friendly town, and a lot of local people there seemed curious seeing an Asian girl like me traveling along. And some of them talked to me and were amazed by the advanced technologies. Some of them even offered me free alcohol. So in Ibiza, I mainly enjoy walking around the city with my camera and did some live streaming for my iPadmate members. When I was there, the situation of the coronavirus wasn't as tricky, but it got worse once I came back to Japan. Apparently, the entire town is in panic and no one is walking outside right now. I also spent the last 2 days indoors, so I did feel like I wasted my time there, but I'm glad I was able to fly back safely. I want to thank everyone who was worried about me. Once you're done drawing the leaf decoration, let's copy and paste this on the other side of the canvas. We will be using the selection tool to enclose and select the leaf. Shift to the arrow tool. If you swipe down the screen using 3 fingers, a banner will appear, so click on Copy and Paste. Move the second leaf towards the left. Then click on both vertical flip and horizontal flip to make it look like the sample. Lastly, I'll work on the side text to finalize the design. Let's fast forward a little bit. Okay, I'm finished. Before we end, I want to add effects to the overall canvas to resemble a chalkboard. Add another layer above the background layer and set your brush to heavy metal. Try brushing the center of the canvas slightly to add blurred chalk effect. I'm finally done. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And there were many banners like this around the island of Ibiza. Just like I did in this tutorial, trying to replicate each of them will really brush up your chalk art skills, so please give it a try. In my iPad community, I'll be sharing today's data, including the background of the chalkboard, as well as the finished Procreate data. So feel free to join us, download them, and explore different layers, etc. Although this video was just a brief instruction of chalk art, if you're interested in learning more advanced tips, I'm thinking of doing an online seminar on iPadmate community. I'm planning on holding a seminar in early April, so please join if you're interested. This is it for today. Thank you for watching my video. Bye bye.